Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Let's come closer. Well. Did you know that any French military in Ukraine will become targets for the Russian military? I know they said that if these guys are going to be in combat duty, it's one thing. But how about you got French military as instructors, trainers, I don't know, people who fix things over there. But what if the French don't call them military? What if the French call them volunteers? Is that still valid? Sergei Lavrov, the foreign minister of the Russian Federation, made this claim 4 hours ago, and I'm going to show you what claims or what statements he made, and then how these guys spin the whole thing. First, let's start with this article, and it's from Associated Press originally, but I took it from The Independent. Any French military in Ukraine would be a quote-unquote legitimate target, end quote, for Russian forces, Lavrov says. Now remember, any French military, what if the French say, well, those are not military, they are just, I don't know, GB Kappa. What if they say these are not military, these are GB Kappa, therefore they don't fit your description, Lavrov? Will Russia still target them? I bet they will. Now, let me show you this little article. It's always good to, create a little bit of credibility here. Here it is. Any French military would be legitimate target. So let's see in what context Mr. Lavrov said it, because sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, the context matters. Any French military instructors in Ukraine would be a quote-unquote legitimate target for Russian armed forces, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Tuesday during a tour of Africa, where frustration with the West has swayed several countries towards Moscow. Lavrov made the remarks as joint news conference with the Republic of Congo's Foreign Minister Jean-Claude Van Damme. Gakoso, Jean-Claude. Ooh. Now, and I'm quoting Lavrov. As for the French instructors, I think they are already on the Ukrainian territory. End quote. We knew that, didn't we? Lavrov said, referring to military instructors that France could send to train Ukrainian troops. And I'm quoting, regardless of their status, military officials or mercenary represent a legitimate target for our armed forces. Macron said that, oh my God, said he would not comment on Lavrov's remarks. You know why? Because of you, my French friends, as many as I have. Because he doesn't want to tell you, yes, we will send you over there, yes, the Russians will hit you, and yes, we will claim self-defense, and yes, you will have to fight for me, Monsieur Macron, and my guys that help me stay in power and help me being promoted over there so you can elect me twice. So that's why he's not commenting. That's what I think, at least. Also, Tuesday, Kremlin spokesperson, no, he's not a spokesperson, he's a spokesman. He's got balls and a dick, and DNA tells us so. Dmitry Peskov said that, and I'm quoting, instructors who train the Kiev regime's troops don't have any sort of immunity, and it doesn't matter whether they are French or not. So the Germans and everybody else who the Latvians, Estonians, Lithuanians, Poles who want to conduct some, some repair work over there or some instructing work, they will be hit by the Russians, and they will be hit by the Russians. Now, that's the first one, and I'm going to show you here. When I put in the search box the title, that any French military in Ukraine would be a legitimate target. This is what showed up. The first ones, I got three. And most important is the one where you see Macron over there. You see me? So here is the title. The title is Russia warns of targeting French military in Ukraine, comma, escalating tensions. You got that? So now you know, I mean, the baboons are told who escalates tensions right here. And I clicked on that, and this is the title. Bang, bang, bang with the West. So obviously, if someone escalates something, especially given that the Russians are by definition bad, they are the escalating factor. Right? So Russia warns of targeting French military in Ukraine, escalating tensions with NATO. I told you many times before, I will tell you again. The guys in NATO have been pushing eastward since 1991. They were the ones who were moving eastward, not the Russians, who are called imperialists. If you really want to be an imperialist, you have to show a pattern. Now, do we need to go over NATO's history, record? Take only the last 33 years. Take it from 1991 until today and see how many countries NATO, defensive organization, military organization, defensive, invaded, bombarded, destroyed basically. Yugoslavia, 1999. Then you got what? Iraq. Then you got Afghanistan. Then you got Libya. Then you got Syria. Now, all these things were done by a defensive organization, which is NATO. Let's look at Russia. What did Russia do? Okay, let's see. Russia fucked up the guys in Chechnya, correct? And then they, what else they did? Mind you, Chechnya was part of the Russian Federation. Then we have Georgia, when Saakashvili, with his instructors, Western instructors and trainers, invaded South Ossetia, right, and bombarded and killed some Russians, peacekeeping troops, according to the European Union deal. And then they went over there and smacked the guy. NATO was not capable to move anything then. Then they were asked by the legitimate government of Syria, Bashar al-Assad, to come and help because of the, how do they call it, civil war in Syria, ignited by whom? By democratic forces, backed by whom? By guys, by the defensive organization, right, military organization. And then they eradicated, to a certain extent, ISIS, who was a metamorphosis of Al-Qaeda, which was a metamorphosis of Mujahideens in Afghanistan, because the Russians invaded Afghanistan in 1979, correct? 1980, 1982. That's how it is. So give me other places where, for instance, Russia has military bases, because you want to expand. You tell me, where did they took over? Syria? No. Chechnya was part of it. Where? And then you got the other guys. Oh, military bases. Where does Russia have military bases outside of its territory? The imperialist country. They have in what? Now in Ukraine, obviously, or however you want to call that. They have in Syria, because they were asked by those guys. I think they have a few over there. I was about to say one, but nevertheless. Then I think they have another one still having, I think, in South Ossetia and Abkhazia over there, which is by its borders, right? And where else? If I need if I miss anything, I know they have that where they launch their satellites in space in what, Kazakhstan or something, Baikul, Baikal, blah blah blah. Now let's look at the other side. Where does NATO have military bases? Or let's start with the beginning. How many miles they pushed to a certain, direction, which is eastward? 1,500 miles, and now they want Ukraine. They moved. How many military bases does the defensive, policemen of this planet, the United States of America, have around the globe. About 740 bases, military locations, 700. So by any, toddler evaluation, assessment, you don't have to be an intellectual. You realize who's who and what's what. And Russia wants to invade Europe. That's how the story goes. And then these guys send troops next to Russia and they say, you can't hit us. Russia will hit the French troops and any other troops that will be over there. And the guys that sent their troops over there, they will claim self-defense or they will be blown up. Now, if you think that's right, I hope that happens to you in your life and see how you immediately gonna be logical and honest and objective about it. Now, media is too strong for some brains to, go around it. So be careful of the spin. Russia escalates. Don't send your troops. There will be no escalation. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.